Good morning. Today let's look at backlighting. That's when the light source comes from the back of the scene. Follow along with this tutorial and you may find that backlighting is a wonderful choice for dramatic, eye-catching compositions. I'm starting by masking the light areas by painting them with liquid masking. This saves my light paper even when the dark color goes right over top. Mask the table and the chair, and you could mask the roses out also. I didn't mask out my roses, I painted around them, but masking them might make it easier and I recommend it. Next, pick your best colors. You can use any colors you like. Next, let's look at greens. Most of this painting is green. It goes from very light watery green to almost a black green. If you don't want to mix darks, I recommend Perylene green as a very dark green. You can mix medium greens using phthalo blue and yellow or phthalo blue and gold. I'm going to start by painting the sky in the middle. You could paint this area now, or you can paint it last. It's up to you. You want the sky blue or blue-gray, lighter at the top, and a more medium color at the bottom. I'm toning my blue down with just a little bit of the other colors, but any color you like is great. Start at the top with more water and less paint. Paint around the leafy edges. As you load your brush, just pick up some of the darker color and keep painting. This wash does not need to be a smooth blend. It's fine if it's blotchy. So very light at the top, adding more paint so it goes to a medium color at the bottom. Or once again, skip this area and paint it at the end. While that dries, paint the dark on the left side. To mix a dark, you need red, yellow, and blue. Mostly blue, a medium amount of red, and just a little yellow. When you're mixing, don't be surprised if it turns green or purple, and if it does, just add more of the complementary color. If it turns green, add more red. If it turns brown, add more blue. Keep playing with it. You're going to need a lot of dark color for this picture, so making a big puddle of dark now can save you time in the long run. Here's a pro tip for dark colors. They're going to look best when they aren't totally mixed into one flat color like house paint. When the value is dark, you can add different colors in for variety. They blend together on the paper, like you use one brush of red, one brush full of blue. As the colors blend on the paper, it leaves a little bit of variation, maybe a tiny bit of red showing, and it gives a lively dark area that's very attractive to the viewer's eye. As you begin to come down the beam, start adding more blue and more water so that it gets lighter as you approach the bottom. Then continue the dark across the top and switch to more blue or gray for the beam on the right side also. See, the beams across the top have the same shape on either side. The corner inside the right triangle can be filled in with dark green foliage. Painting lots of leaves and leaving space in between them. Next, paint the shrub on the bottom left. Now this isn't a rose bush, it's just a shrub. and you want it light on the top and some real dark on the bottom. On the right side, there's going to be a group of roses where the shrub stops, right about here. But let's start with the top of the bush is very light, a very watery green that's lighter than the color behind it. The easiest way is just to paint the top area with watery color and then dab most of it back up with a paper towel. And then skip down to the bottom and start painting your darkest color. Once again, for a lively, attractive dark, don't be afraid to mix in some of the pure pigment from your other colors. Once you have dark on the bottom and light on the top, use a medium value green to pull a little bit of that green up into the light with some leafy brush strokes. Playing with it is fine, but be sure you leave that light edge. The bottom is very dark, going to very light at the top with medium green bits in between. When you're painting under the table, skip some areas that will become roses later. While that dries, I'm going to put in my roses. If you have masked your roses out, skip this part, and you can paint the roses on after you take the masking off at the end. You can add as many or as few roses as you like, but don't repeat one single rose all over the place. You want a few single roses and more masses of 2 or 3 roses together. Start with a very light pink, as you can darken them later. A few darker roses go in the spots under the table. I'm arranging the bottom right roses to lead my viewer's eye around by only putting roses on the left edge of that area. Now we're ready to paint the green around the roses. Start with a light yellow green around the edges where the sun hits. Leave plenty of white spaces for that sunlight glow. The beam behind the table is brown, and you can use a tube brown or a mix of red and green. Next, I'm switching to the dark green to add the stems on the right. These stems are a good directional line that leads your viewer's eye down through the painting. You can mix some darker and medium green values into the leafy areas. Be sure you paint around the roses and leave plenty of white bits. Just paint a few random leaf shapes. Now, many areas are left with just a touch of light green. Compare your painting to the reference photo as you paint. As you get the green values established, you can decide if the roses need to be darkened up or left light. The last green area is the bottom right, which is dark. You may need to mix fresh dark, and once again, when painting a large dark area, dip your brush into different colors as you paint. The edges of this area get lighter for more of a medium green. Now, at this point, you may need to bring some of the very dark green up into a few areas on the left to help balance the painting. I think I need a little bit more on the bottom also. At the very bottom on either side, I'm including the soft, out-of-focus roses that I see in the photo. You could just paint the whole bottom to be a wooden porch if you like. Here's my brown mix for the first wash on the wooden porch. You can play with wood as much as you like, and the texture just gets better and better. I'm going to let this dry before I add shading. Here's a touch of green to the rose masses. A lot is done, so let's remove the masking and see what we have. I make the chair back pink with some shading on the left. I'm using some leftover bits of color to add shading to the side of the table, the chair seat side, and the back legs on the table and chair. My teacup is a light beige. You can make it any color you want, but you want underneath the saucer to be dark. Now in the photo, there's shadows under the table and chair on the porch, so I put them on. The space next to the dark beam gets a lighter coat of brown, and you can use a little dark red to add shading to some of the roses. Last, I'm using some opaque white to add a tiny handle to my teacup, and I'm just putting in some of the white dots that I see in this greenery. There's also a line of white along the side of the left beam. Here's our finished garden scene, which is mostly green with touches of pink roses. The white table and chair really stand out, but the different values and the directional lines help move your viewer's eye through this composition. I hope you like this tutorial, and whatever your painting skill level is, be sure to visit watsonwatercolor.com for more fun and free tutorials to improve your painting. Happy painting!